Hi everyone, this is Miss Shrek, and today we are going to be talking about different types of economies. And for this lesson, we're also going to be using an example of cell phone companies. So if you want to go right ahead and pull up the PowerPoint, we are looking right now at slide number 4. The slide looks like this. Types of economies, and the first one we're going to be talking about are free market economies. So in these economies, all goods and services are privately owned. This means that companies, not only companies like cell phone companies, but also things such as the police force, the military, healthcare, they're all privately owned. And there is a lot of competition. However, there is also not a lot of government regulation. So if we look at the example of these cell phone companies, this means that there are a lot of different options. You have Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, Straight Talk Wireless, all of these separate companies, but the government would not be allowed to interfere. So if one company decided, Verizon for example, they're a very large company, tried to buy up all the other companies, the government wouldn't be able to step in and stop that, so they could form a monopoly in that case, which eliminates competition and then is bad for the economy. Another thing is that the government is also responsible for regulating quality and making sure that everything is fair. So cell phone companies could increase their signal, which is actually harmful to the health of humans. So the government says that they can't do that right now, but in a free market economy, they could. Another example would be that cell phone companies like to add a lot of fees to your bill, which can be unfair, so the government says that they can't do that. So the next kind of an economy is a command economy. And so this is basically the direct opposite of like a true free market economy. This economy says that the government owns and offers all goods and services, and they're responsible for setting the price for those goods and services. So they could set it as whatever they want. There is no competition in this, and it's all completely regulated by the government. In this case, China has a similar system for their cell companies. There are 3 cell companies in China, and they are all either owned or regulated by the Chinese government. And the last type of economy is a mixed economy, which is what we have in the United States and what most other countries around the world have. So a mixed economy is a market economy in which the government owns some property and goods and services, but there's also a lot of private companies and business and services. So the government is allowed to make rules about these companies, and they're also allowed to regulate how the competition in the market works. So they try not to make sure that monopolies don't exist by regulating which companies can buy other companies, for example. So a mixed economy is what we have now. So the cell phone industry T-Mobile recently tried to buy, They tried to buy AT&T, but the government found that would be creating a monopoly in certain regions. So they decided that was not fair, and they did not allow T-Mobile to buy AT&T. So they are preserving that competition, which the competition brings down the price for the consumers, which is us, and allows us to have a fair price for our goods and services. And one thing I also really want to emphasize, if you go to slide number 5, right over here, is that in a mixed economy, the government can take action to protect those consumers. So the government is taking action to make sure things are fair, and they're making sure that things are safe. Another example might be, not in the same vein as cell phones, but also like food and drugs that are protected by the FDA. The government makes sure that the amounts of chemicals in those drugs are safe, and basically make sure that we're not putting anything harmful into our bodies. Okay, so those were the 3 types of government, and please take notes on this video and make sure that you continue to do the rest of the activities for this week, and later next week in our next lesson we will be diving deeper into some of these issues, but this is just serving as a broader overview before we can really jump into some of those topics. All right guys, have a good one.